Hello, everyone. Welcome to Lockbeard Random Live. I wasn't planning on doing this tonight, but Hyvis, I think, wanted me to come on, so here I am. How's everybody doing? Let's see, he says he won. He got here first. Yeah. Well, I'd hit it before Hyvis, and then two of them disappeared or something like that. So, maybe I'll keep going up. See how far this thing goes, right? Michael Haywood's here. Somebody's going to be drawn and quartered over that picture of Buck Fiden. Well, they ought to be used to people poking a little fun at him by now. It's legit. Liz, how are you? How are you? Yeah, maybe. Awesome. What's up, Annette? Welcome. Hello. Bigfoot Anon says, hey, everyone. F. Biden. Welcome. Troy says, Lockbeard Raiders mount up. Hey, thank you. Welcome. Coffee needed alive tonight. Well, hopefully we don't go too horribly long. I wasn't really feeling up to it, but here I am. Daily Dan Blog. Hello. Welcome. Icon's here. Welcome. I upgraded to Intellivision. You mean over on Ken's chat a while ago? I just wasn't. I wasn't in there earlier, and then I just wasn't watching it too closely. So if I didn't respond or something, that's probably why. Yep. Welcome to everybody. Hyla says, thanks for bending to my will, Lockbeard. Ken ended the stream too soon to draft people. Well, I dropped a message in at the end that might have snagged a few. Yep. Hello. Jody, welcome. Jody came over here from Ken's chat. Sometimes we touch on some of the stuff that Ken talks about. I just don't necessarily talk as intelligently as he does. But we got, a couple other people from over there, Hiveless B, Icon. And then a lot of these people are from the Bigfoot community, cryptids, paranormal, that kind of stuff. Icon says, all good, just poke fun. Are you plugged into the mains or do you use a generator? We got power out here. We're not that far off the beaten path. Oh, and that Ken is, we're talking about Ken Wheeler. He has a channel called the Aria Apophysis. You're going to start seeing in the descriptions of all my videos, not yet, but of all my newer videos in the description, there's a bunch of stuff in there, but Ken's channel, the link to Ken's channel will be in there, but he discusses kind of a weird variety of stuff on his channel. Metaphysics, field theory, He's really into photography, so he talks about that sometimes. Um, Leather work, and just other random stuff. Uh, uh, he uh, he tries to teach people how the universe really works. So if you've been listening to quantum physics and people worshiping at the altar of Einstein, you're going to hear a totally different story. And, because those people are wrong. um, yeah. So don't talk about electrons. Why not, Hiveless? I saw Ken's recent video on it. Brother, you everywhere. Yeah, he's everywhere. Um, Uncle Bones is here. Welcome. Somehow Uncle Bones made it over to Ken's chat tonight too. Hello, Troy. Welcome. Let's hear about that awesome general we have leading this country. Oh, I know it. I didn't want to say. I don't have. There's not much to say. Um, because they were trying to act like they didn't know. That the bad guys are getting ready. Do some bad stuff in Afghanistan. But there's been a leaked phone call that pretty much proves that Biden knew damn good and well, and the leader of Afghanistan was asking for help, and he's like, Biden's like, no, just act like that, everything's fine, or something like that. It's just they handed that country over on purpose. They knew damn good and well what they were doing. Icon says he if you only knew. Yeah, he's everywhere. So what's going on, folks? Yeah, clowns. Yeah, I don't believe for a second that they didn't do this on purpose. Biden should be put out of our misery. I mean, he might go down anytime. Who knows? And then we're in deep shit because who's next in line? She's a horrible, horrible person. B. Lynn's here. Welcome. 12-year-old granddaughter is smarter than Mr. Biden. Yeah. Well, at this point, anything he knew is probably, kind of gone. So I don't know. It's just a mess. Iva says 2 heads of the FDA just resigned over pressure from Biden administration to push boosters, jabs on kids. Good. People need to take a stand. They just do. I know that there's a lot of people out there that don't understand intelligent people taking the position that we shouldn't do all these vax, but they need to give the subject another look, and they need to dig deep, and they're gonna need to look at a variety of reasons, and they'll, if they truly look into it, they'll figure out that there's good reasons that we need to, not just go crazy with this completely unnatural practice. Every time we do something unnatural, we figure out there's a negative side effect or many negative side effects, And I'm telling you, they're there. It's not just about them putting them in there. It's using them at all that is problematic. Um, yes, we want to save lives, and sometimes a proper jab does, but there's problems, and people just need to take the time. They need to take the time to look more closely at the issue, not just in relation to this most recent fraud plague, but just in general. It's something we shouldn't just go crazy with. Yeah, we'd be stuck with the old horse face. Yeah. Daily Damn Log, Saul Iron. So, did you see the videos I put up on Danny Stanton's channel? With the strange creature growling and roaring at me. I haven't had a chance to look at it. I missed a couple of lives tonight, as it was. It's just been one of those days. But no, I haven't had a chance to see it yet. B. Lynn says, Lockbeard, I can't catch all the live shows, but I go back and watch every replay. Good shows. Your subs are climbing. Yeah. Well, if you like them, watch them. If you don't. Yeah. Don't. Hope nobody feels obligated to watch the random lives, because if you're out of the Bigfoot community, the random lives don't really talk about paranormal. Well, most of the time. Um, so I understand if the Bigfoot community people aren't interested. I mean, you don't have time to watch everything. I certainly didn't tonight. Missed a couple live streams I would have liked to have caught, and I mean, I came in and poked in at the end, but I just, things happen. But so yeah, B Land and Daily Dan Blog, yo, hit the like button, watchers. Thank you, Annette. Jody says the government drama is like a daytime soap opera as the turd whirls. Yeah. Turd whirls too. I've been looking at maps of the area that I'm probably going to be living in pretty soon. I'll be glad to get out of here. It's nice being on the farm and all, but it's just not where I need to be. Not what I need is here. I'm about 6 miles west by northwest of Muskogee. And I'm sorry for those people that love Muskogee, but I hate Muskogee. I hate it, and I'm glad that it looks like I probably found a new job that is not here. I was kind of looking for them if they were here, but I ended up finding one away from here. Well, it looks like I think I got it. They haven't done the actual hiring of the candidates yet, but we'll see. I still might not have got it, but trying to plan ahead, looking at the gyms in the area, because I kind of live out of gyms. It's I obviously don't have a restroom on board the van, and I shower at the gym. So I've been checking that out, checking into that, looking at the area, kind of figuring out where I need to live, someplace that's within reasonable proximity of work and gym, and not too far into a city. I don't want to be in town if I can help it. But you see here, a new job, not a new job, a new job. They don't smoke marijuana and Muskogee. That's what I hear. But my keen observations tell me that that is wrong. I have seen it. I don't participate, but I have seen it happening. So somebody needs to update the world on that deal. Hey, the Daily Damn Blog, whatever is growling sounds huge. You must have something going on. Trying to get close to water, like here where I'm at here. I mean, there's ponds and stuff here on the land here, but we can't really get to the river. The river is about a half mile that way from me here, and where I'm going to be real close to this same river, but upstream. So I'm hoping I can get pretty close to the river. I just want to be near the water. Joined you on this one. Lots of Bigfoot videos on this one. Yeah. Hello, Danny's World. Michael says, and they don't take their trips on LSD. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know if you. Usually when I'm looking at maps like that, I'm using MapQuest, and this is what it looks like if you guys don't use it. It's a pretty good tool. You can plan your trips and stuff on it. If you can see from the pic, you see like there's roughly there's an angled road there, but that's where I used to live by Grand Lake. So I like living by the water. I wasn't on the lakefront there, but I could see the lake. But I sold that property last year. It's one of my other channels. I see. B. Lance says, Lockbeard, are you familiar with the long-running YouTube channel that is a community of people who this looks like he got cut off somehow there. Icon says, funny thing is, Merle Haggard started smoking pot about a decade after cutting that song. Yeah, I don't think the lyrics were telling the truth about Muskogee. Yeah. Yeah, probably so, Uncle Bones. Sub, telling people to. Oh, you sub to Danny? Yeah, but up there where I was at, that was definitely within the Ozarks area. And this area is a little different. We're outside the Ozarks now. There's some hills and stuff, but not all that chert rock and stuff. For those of you that are familiar with the Ozark area, got a lot of chert rock in a lot of those areas. Like there's not deep soil. You dig into the ground, you're hitting rocks. So yeah, I'm hoping I get along the river, or at least on one of the creeks that flow into it right there. But I don't want to do too much piddling around with that, because if I waste a bunch of time and don't get the job, but I think I'm going to get it. Lots of caves in the Ozarks, yeah. Yeah, some Bigfoot action. Somewhere like 7 to 10 miles south of this location, somebody saw a Bigfoot, an old Indian man. He saw, you can find the video somewhere on YouTube. It's out there somewhere. What he said he saw was a gray Bigfoot, and it was chasing a deer. And it chased the deer out of sight, and he said he heard like a thump, and he heard the deer scream. You might have, Michael. You might have. Floodplains? You mean floodplains? What about them, Joe? I need to get land. I need to get some land again. I kind of don't like this whole thing where I don't have, because Ken's doing the right thing. He's got this cabin, and he's way out in the woods, and he's got a place to bug out to. So hopefully sometime, it'll be next year, I can get some land again. Because what you see here, it's a little tiny piece of what you see here. I sold. Dude offered. How much more did he offered like 6 times what I paid for the property. So I really didn't want to sell, but I kind of, someone offers you that much more than what you paid for it, you kind of got to sell it. Pancho and Lefty. Is there a Mrs. Lockbeard? No. I kind of gave up on that whole idea a long time ago. It just I don't think it'll ever work. It's all going to pot, yeah. Hope all are well in chat, Mark says. Welcome, Mark. See, you're still alive down under. I missed about the first half of Ken's live stream, Hiveless. When I came in, I saw you saying electron lives matter. What was that about? Any flood problems? Oh, flooding is just a normal thing around here, just don't live in the floodplain, and don't live in stupid places. Usually it's farmland, or it's just wooded, or it's pasture. It's something to that effect. If it's a flood zone. Yeah, I kind of had to. I had to sell it. Icon says to Mark, I'm on the side of the turf. How are you? On the plus side of the turf. All good on that end, he says. Mr. Lockbeard. No, Hybless. No. Um, uh, it would be a Mrs. Lockbeard if I was willing to get into a relationship, but I'm not. Not without some kind of ironclad freaking prenup or something. Like I just can't. Guy can't take those risks anymore, really, for the most part. It's a damn risky thing to do these days. You'll end up losing everything. Pivot says, I also missed the start of Ken's stream. Electron Lives Matter was me just trolling after his video about electron fallacy. Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of a repeat of some stuff he said before in all these years. We're in a world where people, they've been taught their whole lives that an electron is a particle, and that's just complete bullshit. But even if you tell people it's not, most people, their give a shit level about what the fucking electron is in the negatives probably. All they care is their power comes on. Not without an ironclad safe word. Yeah. Something. I don't know. I think the I just kind of think the emperor of the planet of the Eternus Empire should just have concubines. So maybe once I build a proper castle, I'll hire on some concubines or something. But pull some Dune action for those who haven't watched. Dune is a sci-fi story for those that don't know, where it's a feudal kind of futuristic but feudal society and monarchy empire, and the Duke in the story, Duke Leto Atreides, he has a woman and she's his concubine, but she's his only concubine because he's in love with her and she's in love with him, but she supports that situation because he may need to engage in a political marriage at some point in the future. So he needs to be he can't be married, I guess, in that story. In my view, a monarch could have, he could have an official married wife and still have concubines. That's happened in many monarchies in the past, and but in Dune, that's how they do it in the story of Dune. it's one of the greatest sci-fi books ever written. It has some interesting elements to it, and hopefully, if people actually read the books, it gives them some things to think about how we should change our world. There's some aspects of that story and the way things are in our world, things that I think we should definitely incorporate in real life, but our society just isn't doing it. And so, you know, I don't know, how do you guide a society to accept these things? Because some of these things people don't they don't want to accept. You know, like in America, the general attitude is monarchy is it's something that we rebelled against to form this country, so it's thought of as a bad thing. And what's worse is a lot of the monarchs in the world right now are a joke. They are, tabloid material. They and it's just ridiculousness, and the people don't trust them. They haven't haven't maintained the trust of the people. Now, in some countries, they love their monarchy, but in like the British situation, it's really little more than a figurehead. They don't really have any real power. So that to me is not really a monarchy anymore. They're just kind of like a mascot at this point. A monarchy to truly flourish it needs to be an absolute monarchy. And I know people in some societies are kind of scared about that, but yeah, I've talked about that before. Why, some of the reasons why I think that's the better way, the better form of government, the path of the future. If we want a future, I don't think we have a future forever if we don't do these things. But most people haven't even ever thought of this and aren't remotely, aware of what I'm talking about. But they're just trying to get by in the middle of this nonsense we got going on. Yep, I'm bad man, Jody. Hey, Judy, welcome. Hyla says you've already got a pretty good harem shortlist right here. Do I? I don't know. I think most of these ladies are married women. Running late? No, you're fine. It wasn't planned. I wasn't even planning on coming on tonight, but here I am. Judy and Brandy are up for it. Maybe. Yeah. Hello, Judy. Welcome. It's getting to where, can I be a court jester? I guess. Yeah, we probably should bring that back. That shit was awesome. Theater, I haven't, I feel like theater is kind of becoming a lost thing, I used to like to go and watch plays whenever I could, but I haven't done it in so long. So, because just It's just the way things are. So that's one of the things I want to make a point of sometime soon is to start, regularly seeing plays where I'm probably going to be moving to. There's a lot more options for that than where I'm at now or where I was when I was living at this map location you're seeing here. Um, there was a small place in that's near Grove, Oklahoma. It's about 8 miles away from Grove, Oklahoma. Um, but they plays were so rare. Um, when I was in Tahlequah, that's when I was seeing plays and stuff, and it's enjoyable to actually. It's just the experience that to actually go there and live actors and you know I don't know. It's just something that I think enriches people's lives, and we should support it and try to keep it alive. Um, Going to the theater, same thing. I feel like we might be getting to a situation in the future where people don't want to go to the theater anymore to see movies. The movie theater, and as well, um, because for a long time there, I haven't had TV in years. But once a week, I'd go to the theater and watch a movie. It's just kind of the experience, just getting out of the house and going somewhere. And I try to stay keto most of the time, but sometimes when I went to the theater, I'd get some popcorn, big old bucket, and I'd tell them, I had to train them to do the butter right. I'd be like, look, pretend you hate me and you want to give me a heart attack by the end of this movie, and then butter that popcorn. I like things just dripping with butter. And people they're like, they don't want to, they're afraid they're going to put too much on there. And I'm like, listen to me very carefully. It is not possible for you to put too much butter on anything I eat. It can be swimming in it. If I eat a piece of toast, it needs to be thoroughly saturated. But yeah, it's just the experience of it, going to the movie theater and and all that, and getting out of the house. And we don't want to get to where we're sitting at home watching movies on whatever services they got, Netflix or whatever, and that's how we consume new movies. I don't think that's a step in the right direction. I will be a fly on the wall, and it says, you are a backup wife?" Oh my. No leftovers for me. Hey, Lockbeard, how you doing? Doing all right. I wasn't feeling up to doing this tonight though, but I figured why not. Hiveless seemed like he wanted somebody to come alive, and Mary means we have another kid, just older. Oh my. Maybe. Well, I think something's been taken away from men in our society. That you can't be what a man is supposed to be. Um, and I think men are suffering psychologically as a result. There's a reason why there's some level of unhappiness about things, and a man needs to be king of his castle, and he kind of can't in most cases these days. He's supposed to be a leader, a protector, and we got this whole far left stuff where they're practically wanting to neuter all the men, and they want to blur the lines between men and women and make everybody the same. And they criticize men, but then you'll have these women that act like men. They're aggressive and violent sometimes, and me. I think that humans are supposed to be violent. That's our natural situation. They're supposed to be fighting, and it's not really supposed to be the women, and all this stuff with they want women, to have an equal opportunity to get into the military. Well, they do, but the problem with like the physical requirements, women on average, there's always exceptions, don't have the strength to perform some of the physical challenges that are requirements to get into the military. I don't know. I don't think they quite get what they're asking for. They're asking to go into the situation where you can get freaking killed if you're not physically able to handle the scenario. So when they're talking about they want the physical requirements lightened up, man. I mean, we all watched Captain America, right? He was a little guy. He just couldn't meet the physical requirements, and they're like, "Look, we can't use you. It sucks. You want to fight, but look, we can't. You got to be able to physically handle it, or you're just going to go out there and freaking die." I don't know. It's a mess. It's a mess out there. Hey, Bobby, welcome. Daniel Lundy's here. He says, it seems to me that Biden is being used to fill their agenda. He's not in his right mind. Anyone can see this. Yeah, you're definitely right. They're just using him. Daniel Lundy, yep, he's the symbol of a failed U.S. I don't get why he gets... I don't know why people don't see that, because he's played off as being, when we're talking about the black vote, like they think he's, a lot of... Now, there's some out there speaking up about him because he's clearly, in the past, said some racist stuff. But he still automatically, because he's Democrat, he gets the black vote, for the most part. Not all of them, but, it's funny watching some old video clips. Like, watch the one where he's talking about the little kids at the pool and rubbing the hair on his legs, and he has a little hang up, and he says something weird, right in the middle. He's talking about these kids, and then all of a sudden he says the phrase, "I learned a lot about cockroaches," right in the middle of this, and I'm like, did you guys not hear that? That's what's on his mind, and his brain had a little hiccup there, and he let it slip. That's a word for black kids or black people that exists in Biden's mind. And anyone can look up this video and see this. It's when he's talking about the little kids at the pool and they're rubbing on his legs, and and it's kind of creepy, some of it, and oh my God, what a mess, what a mess. Um, let's see here. Yeah, butter's awesome. Support your local troop. Yeah, definitely, Jody. I intend to, when I move, I'll be able to better. I'll be making more money and stuff, and so I hope to be able to to get back into that again. Make margarine butter again? Oh hell no, Hiveless. Margarine is not butter. When I go to a restaurant to eat, I always ask them that if I'm going to get some butter with my meal. I'm like, do you have real butter or do you have margarine? Because, you know, you go to a lot of restaurants and you ask for butter and they're bringing you margarine. The waitresses don't usually bother to tell you, oh, this isn't butter. People need to understand margarine is not butter. It's not. It's freaking poison. No, maybe it really is true. Absolutely, Lockbeard. Um, the world did a flip flop. Yeah. Hiveless says the Undermining the Menace Society. Check out Jesse Lee Peterson. He's rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. He's great. Yeah. And there's a lot of women out there that are supporting, real men, the whole idea that they're not part of these crazy people um, that have some really weird ideas about how men should act, and and they don't get it, like, and a lot of what they're doing, they're behaving like the men. um, there is, I need to find that clip too. I'll just show it to you. Hold on, I'll look for it here in a second. Absolutely true, Hiveless. That's a good thing. Is a transphobe for not wanting a castrated military. Hey, they can do what they want. I don't care. Um, yeah, Daniel Fail. Yeah, if you saw that video of Joe Biden, it's somewhere. It should be on YouTube somewhere. Maybe it's on. You could probably go over to Rumble and find it. Um, you know, I don't know how. And then there was that interview he was doing where he said, if you can't he had trouble figuring out if you should vote for me or not, you ain't black. Everybody had to cringe when he said that. I'm like, are you serious? Are you serious, Joe? His little sniffing and his handsiness and all that stuff. Something's up. Yeah, they shouldn't have made him president just because as he's losing his mind, he's going to slip up with these kind of scenarios more and more. With his actions and his words. So if he is what a lot of people suspect based on some of these things he's done, touching and sniffing, and he's going to make that mistake again and do something really messed up, because he's lost his mind. So now you're talking about a guy that's, possibly been inappropriate about his desires his whole life, and now he's lost his mind. So now it's a bad situation. Nothing exists in Biden's mind. Who you? Yeah, Icon. Margarine is one molecule away from plastic. Yeah, I've heard people say that. Yeah. All I know is it's I don't want it. Yeah. Yep, it's basically plastic. Um, Pinch, Pike, plow me a Coke. My hubby is a real man, but he checks his nuts in at the door. Don't make him do that. You should say every day when you walk in here, the nuts need to be dragging the ground. Proper like. Hivela says McDonald's soft serve wasn't the same that reformulated in the 90s. Yeah, I don't know why you'd want to drink that. I don't know what kind of chemical shit that is, but um, if you're gonna have something like that, go to Sonic and have them make you a real ice cream shake. If you're gonna do that. I don't know what soft serve. I don't know what that shit is. That's Creepy Joe, yeah. With a spanner, what? Nope, he just hands them over. Tired of carrying him all day. What's soft serve? Square cheese? Like soft serve ice cream. It comes out of that spigot. Wow, I haven't heard that in a while. Feeling old, just teasing. Haven't heard what. Oh. Judy says, Icon, so far I'm doing good. My daughter, son-in-law, and my 4 grandchildren under age of 9 just tested positive for the funky covidina. Joe D says, I think Judge O. Brown said a bunch about Biden, Kamala in an interview here on YouTube. Yeah. I remember that. Like someone just flat out asked him, is Joe Biden racist? Or no, I'm thinking about when they asked him about Trump. I think it was Judge Joe Brown. I think it was. They asked him about Trump. He asked if Trump's a racist. I don't know how I got that flipped around. And he told us stories about how, or one story I think it was about how Trump arranged for loans for black entrepreneurs who couldn't get a loan any other way. And if he was a racist, why would he do that? He didn't have to, So why would he do that? Not that I'm a big Trump supporter. I'm just saying. Palace B soft serve is their version of ice cream. Yeah. You ain't checked my nuts. Icon says, time to break out the Ivor. Well, staying in your lunchbox. Easier to give them back, Hive. Yeah. Let's see here. I'm going to try and find this video. But I don't know if any of y'all watched the movie Boondock Saints. When that movie came out, I saw the trailer like everybody else, and it didn't interest me. It didn't seem like something that I wanted to see. So it was years later before I saw the movie. And when I saw it, I loved it. It was a great movie. Like in the realm of non-sci-fi, it became probably my top 10 as far as non-sci-fi movies go. And now they made a second one, which, like many movies, they should probably just left it at one movie. But it was all right. But and I can't remember the name of the actor. It's Norman Reedus is one of the brothers, and then I can't remember the name of the other actor, but he's one of those people that as he got older, he just looks completely different. So that was throwing me for a loop, because for a little bit it's like, is that a different guy? But it's the same guy, I guess. I thought it was a great movie, and trying to find. Okay, it looks like I don't know what it is with Rumble. I tried searching for it on Rumble, but it didn't. It didn't come up. So, okay, I found it on YouTube though. So I think I can just play it, and it's a cutscene. Let me get this off of here. It's a cutscene. It kind of illustrates what I'm saying about, women that are all man-hating and stuff, but they act manly and violent, and so if you hate men so much, how come you're acting like what you would expect a man to act like? So they cut this from the movie, but I thought it was hilarious. I'm gonna put this on, try to make this bigger, and that's probably the best I can do, I think, because I don't know what it's going to do if I try to put it in full screen mode. But so this is it's a kind of a funny scene, though. It's a funny scene.
This is Rose Girdle.
Rose and Girdle Baumgartner.
Yeah, right. You're going to be training her today, so do a good job.
Hey. Well, it's pleased to meet you then, Rosie. I prefer to be called Rosengirdle by men. Of course you do, man. Well, let's get you kissed out. Christ.
That's the largest one I've ever seen.
I'll tell you, it's self-imposed affirmative action. If we hire big, fat, angry lesbians, then the leftist groups representing big, fat, angry lesbians won't think we're violating their rights.
Well, how politically correct you are. It's good stuff.
Well, you don't know the half of it. These people can shut you down. They'll sue you into the ground claiming they're put under duress, mental pain, inner suffering, shite like that. Yeah.
Well, as long as we're hiring fat lesbians. Why don't you give your ma a call?
Go fuck yourself, Murphy.
Right, what you want to do is you want to cut off as much fat as you can. Basically, the rule of thumb here.
Rule of thumb?
Rule of thumb, yeah.
Do you know where that term comes from?
I have no idea.
In the early 1900s, it was legal for a man to beat his wife, as long as he used a stick no wider than his thumb.
You can't do much damage with that, then, can we? Perhaps it should have been a rule of wrist. Get your nice little curl up. Rule of wrist there, Rosie. Say, Murph. Aye. How many lesbians does it take to screw in a light bulb? Well, it takes two then, doesn't it? One to actually screw on the light bulb, and another wee little lesbian to suck my fucking cock. Will I supervise?
You know, I knew you pricks would give me problems. Give me shit because I'm a woman. Well, I'm not going to take your male dominance bullshit.
She's trying to get the rise out of you.
That's not timing break, guys.
Now, fuck you. And fuck you, too.
Come on, it's St. Patty's Day. It's always good fun.
Oh, does Baumgartner sound Irish to you, fuck face?
Relax, all right? That just calm. Perhaps you should save all that aggression for protests and marches. Fuck you!
You two fucking slaves. Kowtowing to the needs of men. Get up, get the fuck up and leave them there.
Well,
Well, that was crazy. I mean, they did egg her on a little bit, but
I can't believe that none of us were consulted on this. The disrespect.
you know,
We never would have okayed such
that's
a thing.
what I'm talking about.
priest.
Like, she's all aggressive, and
Are we not Catholics?
you know, that's one of the things that's supposed to be wrong with men, I guess. I don't know.
Revenge?
Let me get this thing off of here. Bobby says, my daughter just found out she's pregnant. I worry because she's working with a lot of people that have come down with the cootie. Well, she'll be fine. Don't worry about it. Drags his nuts into the room. Hey, everybody. Hey, Jeff. Welcome. It's been a while since I've seen that movie. Yeah. Me too. Hey, Pat. What you doing here? Bobby says, no, not the jab, but the actual. Yeah. Well, you've heard what I say about it. I think you have nothing to worry about. Bumgardner, I think it was. See, she had no problem giving him a kick to the nuts, and then punching him, you know. Which you guys heard me talk about, because, you know, I was taught when I was a kid, you know, if a woman puts in her place in a man's place like that, you're supposed to respond in kind, so she understands what she just, you know, did. But I've never been able to remotely to do something like that. But she was acting like a man, and then, yeah. Judy says, none of my family has received any shots, and a close family friend has done that blood transfusion treatment as she was in so much pain she had no choice. It might be Hiveless. I think everybody needs to look into high dose, extremely high dose intravenous vitamin C. Do your own research. I'm not YouTube. I'm not a doctor. I'm not giving medical advice. I'm just telling people to go research this. And better than that is liposomal vitamin C to look into. Not telling anybody to do it. Because normal orally taken vitamin C doesn't absorb very well. So, like, the more you take, the less of it's absorbed. So, like, when I told you guys that I took 27 grams of vitamin C one day to prove to the people I knew around me, they were thinking this could poison you, and it can't. And I had no ill effects. It's hard as hell to, pop a vitamin C every 30 minutes. So I was trying to spread it out. So if you take it all at once, that's a lot of pills to swallow at once, but also it's less likely to absorb. But there's a whole lot of things that if I was to get it, I would just take a bunch of vitamin C or liposomal vitamin C. I actually got what I need on board the van to make a bunch of liposomal vitamin C if I need it. It's not really that hard. And, everybody should look into it. Because the doctors are going to, like if you get cancer, they're going to poison you with chemo and poison you into cancer with the chemo and then hope the cancer dies first, And sometimes it works, but sometimes patient dies. I've known patients that have died. The doctor said, look, we can't do anything for you. And they sent them home. Not once did they bring up liposomal vitamin C or high dose intravenous vitamin C. Both are something that maybe the doctors should have mentioned. But if they do, it'll become more common knowledge that there may be something that's extremely non-toxic, extremely cheap, that'll work almost every time, Yeah, it's a crazy movie. Yeah. I don't know if they were afraid to put that scene in. There's also another cut scene that happens after this, where the brother that got kicked had like ice on his balls or something, and then their mom calls from Ireland, and they tell her what happened, and their mom's mad that that Bumgarner kicked her son in the nuts, and the other brother said, he held up his fist and he said, "Don't worry, Mom, I respected the crap out of her for you," or something like that. But that's another cut scene. It's not in the movie. Play Get a Job channel, Jesse Lee Peterson compilation. Maybe one of these days. I don't know if I'll do that tonight, though. I hate the way this jumps on me sometimes. Judy says, none of my family has received any shots, and a close family friend has done that blood transfusion treatment. Yesterday, she was in so much pain, she had no choice. That sucks, Judy. Yeah, there's where I was. The dang chat, it jumps on me for some reason. New York co-worker's boyfriend got their Regeneron treatment. Sea salts is where it's at. Well, Ken talks about that, but it sounds like it's just normal vitamin C, so he's only going to be able to absorb so much of it orally. And people bring up, and I've brought up in his chat, liposomal. And the problem with liposomal is it's costly, So, like, if you can go online and look up how you can make liposomal vitamin C yourself, and it's a lot cheaper. But there are products out, you can buy it, but yeah. I've already had the one video taken down because they said, you're giving medical advice. I'm like, well, damn it. I got to be careful how I word things, right? I'm just saying, go look into it yourself. There's a video out there about a case. I want to say it was in New Zealand, but it was a 60 Minutes story. It was on their show. This guy got, I can't remember what he got. Anyway, the doctors gave him up for dead and was telling the family to cut him off the life support, and they were going to let him die. But the family had heard about high dose vitamin C, and anyway, you'll see the story. They end up getting him some liposomal before it's over with, because the doctors kept fighting him about the high dose intravenous vitamin C. So it's a 60 Minute story. Like it's titled like Vitamin C Miracle Cure, because it like cured him of whatever it was he had. And it also cured something else he had. Something else that they diagnosed him with that you wouldn't normally think could just be cured by high dose vitamin C. But it's a 60 Minute story, so if anybody has any doubts, that's a vitamin that doesn't store in the body, so we have to supplement. Yeah. We have a defective gene that, unfortunately, humans can't make vitamin C endogenously because we got a defective gene. All the great apes got it, and it's just we're just stuck with it. So our system still has the ability to tolerate extremely high amounts of vitamin C from our ancestors that could make it endogenously. So I don't want to talk about it too much, but it's kind of like we got this magic button just by accident, where we could just hit the lever and bam. Okay, it's a weird situation, but yeah, people should look into it. If you got something, especially if the doctor sends you home to die from cancer or something, you need to look into this. And of course, fasting is another thing that fights cancer, but I can't really, I don't know how much I can say about that, Michael says, it seems crazy that what we worm dogs with is a cure for, yeah. I've heard of vitamin C along with vitamin K, what you take. I mean, if you legitimately have a deficiency in vitamin K, the vitamin C, it's a unique situation because of that defective gene thing and our evolutionary history. So vitamin K may help in some stuff, but vitamin whores, yeah. For the most part, I don't think folks should take a bunch of vitamins, but unless you know that you have a deficiency, because sometimes you're taking stuff that you're just peeing it out, right? I mean, for the most part, most people staying inside all the time in winter time probably have some level of the vitamin D deficiency. But, I mean, it'd be better if you got tests to determine that you actually did, but you could probably be pretty certain that you do in the wintertime. But you're welcome, Judy. 1 cc for 10 pounds. Yes, sir. Horse parasites, too. Wow, how'd I catch up the chat? That's crazy. Let me see here if I can pull up. Yeah. Looks fine. So, yeah. Judy says, last October I was sent home from the hospital with respiratory failure. It took me this long to get back on my feet. Man, that sucks. That 60 Minute story I was talking about, the guy, like, can't remember what it was he had, but it caused his lungs to completely fill full of fluid, and they had him on an ECMO machine to breathe for him and stuff. It was a respiratory issue, and 60 Minutes reported that the vitamin C completely cured his ass when the doctors were about to pull the plug. It's a real big deal. You think, it's just vitamin C, it's a little boost and stuff like that. When you start diving into why this is a thing, you'll see it's a really big deal. And I think the medical industry don't want people to know about it because they'll lose a whole bunch of money. If everybody had liposomal vitamin C at home, and anytime they got a whole array of diseases, they used it, the medical industry would have problems. I went to that last 3 months. Winter time scares me because I get pneumonia so easy. Yeah. Check into the liposomal vitamin C. Or just pop the crap out of it. I don't know. I don't remember what it recommends. Like the RDA or whatever is like in the milligrams. Some of the typical supplements have 500 milligrams or 1,000 milligrams a gram in it. And for the bigger pills, like I said, I took 27 grams in one day. I was just tired of swallowing pills, but the problem with that stuff, the normal vitamin C, is it just your system isn't made to absorb that much, so a lot of it just don't absorb. And also, if you're eating carbs, it causes competition with absorption of vitamin C if you're eating carbs, so that's another problem. People say all the time, if you're eating all meat, they're worried about the all meat thing, right? Eating nothing but meat. Well, if you're eating nothing but meat, you're not eating any carbs. And so your body's need to take in vitamin C in your diet is way less. If you're eating really rare steaks, because it needs to be raw or mostly raw. So, because cooking the meat destroys the vitamin C, so that's an issue. That's part of another reason why it's like we're worried about keep cooking everything, killing all the germs. But rare steak eaters are better off because the raw meat does have vitamin C in it. They don't list it. They just assume it doesn't have any. It does. It has vitamin C in it. Hello, Iron Dogger. Welcome. Judy, I'm sorry I wasn't directing that at anyone. I have a friend taking tablets now. Hey, Dogger. Let's see what you said. I eat at least one apple and one orange every day, and I've done so for years. It's a lot of fruit. Icon sees Mr. No, howdy. I was reading this AM that Pfizer has already made. Yeah. It's crazy. It's all about money. It's like the first doctor I showed in that presentation the other day, that he said that. And he's an ex Pfizer scientist, a top scientist from Pfizer, and he left and he went and started his own biotech company, and he sold it. And I mean, he's not just any yahoo like me out here saying this shit. And he said that. He said this whole thing was all about money. And I've told you guys all the indications that the entire thing was a fraud. So, whether people take that, they don't believe me, go check yourself. Go check yourself. Look closer into this issue. There's multiple indications of total fraud. But people are ignoring it. And it's been made into a political issue. So now, we've talked about that too. Cause respiratory kidney failure. Most so-called COVID deaths are due to this. Yeah, they actually killed some people with those respirators. They'll probably never admit that. A lot of good advice. I like my steak still moving. Me too. And that. I've tried ordering it blue at restaurants, and they still cook it too much. Because you have well, medium, rare, and then blue. Way to fuck down here. So they'd still cook because again, the cooks are afraid to undercook it. They're like, you gotta put it on there. So I've kind of figured out what I need to tell the waitress. I said, look, the steak's gonna be raw. Basically, it's quick sear, no more than 5 seconds on each side, and throw it on the plate. You just kind of little flame fire, quick sear for the flavor. Really, it needs to be raw. You don't have to eat your steak like that, but that's the way I want mine. Yep, eat more raw beef sandwiches and invite me over. Never heard about red meat. Yeah. They've been misleading us about dietary advice for a very long time. They know damn good and well that the food pyramid is an instruction manual of how to kill people very slowly. It just is. Like the bottom of the base of it is grain. Grain is straight up poison to people. It's not food. It's not something you should eat if you want optimal health. Do what you want. I'm just telling you, it's not food. Not food for humans. They know, though. They know damn good and well. It's a money game. Yeah, it's all about money. Yep. They know, and in multiple ways. I mean, if you got a population that's fattened up, birth rate in overweight people is lower. So that's part of the plan. But they get sick, and then so they have medical issues, and that generates money and. Compromised immune system. Killed a lot of people with respirators, yes. No blue in the yes. I say 4 seconds. With butter. Yeah, if they got butter. Most restaurants have margarine though. Judy Wither, no more shots. Blah blah blah. Pine needle tea. Yeah, there's a little bit of vitamin C in it, but I won't use it myself. It's a plant. I don't want it. It's a plant. Judy, I was sent home with a nebulizer and oxygen pump for home and a portable oxygen pump. Yeah, I'm on oxygen almost last 2.5 years. Bones. That sucks, man. Yeah. I don't know how we got on the beer bug tonight. Guess it's going to be on people's minds for a very long time. Ain't no way around it. So. Like I said one night, I kind of want to do more with the micronation stuff, the Eternus Empire, and all that stuff, and do something on YouTube with it. But until then, I'll probably mention little things here and there that about the micronation world, and just interesting little tidbits of information most people aren't aware of. This video popped up in my feed today as a result of my viewing preferences having to do with micronations. I've actually read about this place before, and it's one of those things left over from the British doing what they did in the past. Hyla says plants are good. Human teeth not made for meat, primarily Lockbeard. Oh, Hyveless, you gonna make me talk about this? Actually, we should probably do a whole show about this, and I'll explain why that thing that vegans try to say that shit all the time about human teeth. You're gonna be surprised. I probably have some things to say about this that you haven't heard before, but I'm going to tell you the vegans are wrong. And I'm not saying that human teeth are made for hunting, but I'm saying, look, we're not supposed to eat most plants. Rare fruit when in season, like in the wild, humans only found fruit when it was ripe on the trees or on bushes the one time a year, depending on the species. There would be various fruits available different times during the growing season, but the whole recommendation of however many servings they said a day is not what we're supposed to eat in a natural situation. Pretty much all vegetables have something that's pretty toxic to us, and we only are surviving it when we eat it. I used to eat the shit out of vegetables because I believed it too. I believed that they were healthy, but I'm telling you, if you do it, if you go to a carnivore diet, which is what we're actually designed for, they would call us like a hyper carnivore, kind of like they call other, like we talked about the polar bears the other day. They're a hyper carnivore because they eat over a certain percentage of their diet is meat. Humans specialize in eating those megafaunas. We killed the biggest, fattiest red meat animals in the land, 160 species of megafauna that got wiped out just 13,000 years ago. That's what forced us into agriculture and forced us into eating plants to just put something in our stomach. We are a hunter, but our teeth and our claws is not how we do it. We used all those spear points, thousands and thousands of spear points that we painstakingly crafted, and other methods as well, and fishing. We're meat eaters. That tooth thing that the vegans talk about, ask them, why the hell does a gorilla have gigantic canines when it doesn't eat meat at all? It's not a hunter. That's what I'm telling you. The tooth thing doesn't tell you what you think it means in some cases. In primates, apparently, it's completely flipped around. The gorilla has these gigantic canines. Chimpanzees, not quite as big, but they're big. And chimpanzees they eat meat, but like 2 to 3% of their diet or something like that. But humans didn't need the canines, for killing prey. It isn't even in the primates. It doesn't appear to be what it's for. There's what's it called? A gelada baboon out there. It's like eats nothing but grass. But it has these huge, gigantic. Look this thing up. It has huge, gigantic fangs in its mouth, and this, probably just display purposes or whatever. threat display or whatever, but it doesn't eat meat. It eats nothing but grass. It looks like it came out of a damn horror movie. Its fangs are so big. But yeah, that's that whole tooth thing, man. Them vegans are wrong. They're already puffing. Missing Mr. Lee. Oh, he might be around. He might be asleep. It's like what is it over there? It's like 5:30 in the morning where he's at, I think. How many liters per? Judy says, very interesting. This is a topic. Steve How to Hunt says doctors are not treating illnesses the right way, filling us with dangerous drugs with many complications. Yeah. I mean, I wish I could say more. You know, it's been a subject of great interest to me because I've had issues where the doctor didn't figure out what was wrong. And, I've talked a little bit about that in the past. But Lockbeard Random Live number 14 got deleted off of YouTube because they said I was giving medical advice. So I got to be careful what I say. No free expression. I was hoping it was a Sealand video. No, maybe we'll look at some Sealand sometime. Sealand had some funny history, didn't it? But, I figured I saw this video pop up today. I figured I'd show part of it at least. And I got another one about it. Fish is different. Yeah, well, fish is different, but Lockbeard, enjoy all the topics that we have here. Kudos. Thank you, Judy. Iron Dogger says our teeth represent what we are designed for eating. If we were meant to be carnivorous, we would have fangs. Well, I kind of just explained why that doesn't apply to us. It's a different. We didn't need the teeth because our teeth and our fangs was the tools. We were tool making creatures. Even before we diverged from the line of chimpanzees, because chimpanzees have simple tool use as well, and so we don't need the teeth. So we can't use the non-presence of large fangs as an indication of what we're supposed to eat. I'm glad we have this channel to chat about all these things. Fish, I hope, are still good for it. Yeah. I talked a little bit about that, I think, on the Lockbeard phenomena, the mermaid one, about the aquatic ape hypothesis and how we have all these things about our anatomy and physiology that indicate that we that we are designed to be semi-aquatic coastal marine animals. So yes, we are designed to eat fish too. I recommend you read Graham Hancock Disguise. Awesome. Check out Fingerprints of the Gods. Yes. And he's worked, like you've heard, I've mentioned him a few times on here, and then Randall Carlson, he's worked a little bit with Randall Carlson. People need to check him out. Actually, I'm going to start putting Randall Carlson's YouTube link in the description of my videos going forward. I haven't yet, except for like one, but in the future it's going to be in the description along with a bunch of other crap that y'all. So there might be some stuff in the descriptions that might be of interest to you. Some of you, some information about the channel and other stuff. Gorillas of defense and part of the intimidation factor. Yeah, exactly. So I think humans are moved away from that intimidation thing, but again, the gorillas have the fangs. So the vegans are assuming that fangs means meat eater, and what I'm saying is that whole idea may apply to other animals for the most part when you're looking at what their feeding patterns are. In the primates, it's completely flipped around almost. And in humans, it's just especially unique. But we don't need fangs because we've never chased down animals and ripped their throats out with our teeth. That's not how we hunt. We've always used tools. Our entire evolutionary history since the divergence from the chimpanzees and even before that. So that whole tooth thing just doesn't jive with humans as far as trying to decide what we are supposed to eat. Physiologically, like, forget the teeth, look at the physiology, and that supports it as well. There's a reason why also, like, we are obsessed with target type games and stuff, throw darts, pool, basketball, football. Everything is about hitting a target. It's because we're hunters. It's in our psyche. Our games would be totally different if we weren't, programmed like that. But everything we do is about hitting some kind of target. If we evolved from a cow, we probably wouldn't play games like that. Excellent for sure. Hey Dogger, just uploaded that video where that thing was in the woods behind my house on the Daily Damn blog. I love mandrills. Yeah, they're cool. More coffee. Primate topics, very interesting topics. I'm learning about a few things with all of you. Thanks, everyone. You're welcome, Judy. I gotta go check that out. We're fish and plant, occasional game eaters. Going fully animal meat is extreme. I'm sorry, Iveless. That's just wrong. Again, I was probably right where you're at some years back, but we've been taught wrong. And go down that road. Look at the carnivore ideas out there. Research for yourself. We are designed to be mostly carnivorous, a little bit of fruit, a little bit of mushrooms, and it appears also that we are specifically evolved to utilize some small quantity of psilocybin mushrooms. It works so well with our brain, and there's an idea that perhaps for many thousands of years, our early ancestors figured out that psilocybin mushrooms in a small quantity, not tripping levels, in a small quantity, perks things up here, and they would become better hunters and survivors as a result. It improves. They've figured out, like for PTSD, they treat it. Psilocybin mushrooms can treat PTSD. It's almost. We need more data, of course, but it's almost as if part of the reason why we're having some of the issues we're having is because we're not living the way we did for many thousands of years. And right now in our society, it's illegal to even obtain psilocybin mushrooms or use them. And so you go your entire life without using a substance that your shaman might have administered to you on a regular basis before you went on a hunt. But let's not get into that tonight. But yeah, we need to flip that around. Primarily game and fish eaters. Rare fruit consumption and rare mushroom consumption, but primarily hunters. Like, all those spear points weren't just made for fun, and also look into the physiology behind it, and look in like people's experiences like mine. I mean, yeah, it's too much to go into, but tonight I don't want to get off on that too much. Z-Land, don't know about what? Hello, everyone. What about Bear Brown is here? Welcome. What about the fact that most drugs consumed in America are made in China? Oh man, that's just. Oh, who brought up the RH line? Oh no, you're not aliens. You're not aliens. You just got a different blood group. Oh man, the RH negative thing just cracks me up. One would think that our ancestors' diets would have been regional. Well, there would have been some degree of that, of course. You're absolutely right. But I'm trying to talk very generally. Like if you're an Inuit right now, man, you are a heavy fat eater. And if you try to eat a standard American diet, you're gonna get diabetes so quick and make your head spin. You know. Whereas other peoples are going to be a little bit less on the fat and might be more likely to consume a little bit of plants here and there, you know. But so you're right. You're right. There is a degree of difference regionally. At times it sounds like a big cat, but then rumbles deep into a growl. Talking about those growls you've been hearing. Oh wow, Dan! I'll have to watch your video. Yeah, it sounds like everybody needs to check that out. Heard whole damn world made in China. Yeah, everything's made there now. Like I said, primarily. Yeah. I fell way behind. Avocados taste so good, but well, avocados is a kind of fruit. But of course, I disagree with you on that. I don't like avocados. I don't like guacamole. About an hour ago, something attacked my neighbor's dog and ripped it to pieces. I caught the last part of the attack. Whoa, some crazy shit going on. I'll say thanks, brother, for the lives. We all enjoy them. I'm glad you're doing that. Thanks. Probably doesn't. Bears aren't even completely carnivorous. No, they're not. But like polar bears are considered hypercarnivores, eating more than I think it's 70% meat. I've fallen way behind, but I can tell you from my experience, like I worked into a fully carnivorous diet and stayed on it for like 6 months and never felt better. Diabetic symptoms disappeared. My autoimmune symptoms disappeared entirely. Digestion. It once there was a little period in the beginning where things were a little wild because things were getting adjusted, but way better. Energy up, mental clarity. I mean, look into it. Jordan Peterson was kind of an extreme case with his issues that he had, his health problems, him and his daughter. He interviewed on Joe Rogan about this and talked about it. And he's like, he was down to eat nothing but meat and some greens, and he was still having problems. And his daughter figured out that they needed to go to fully carnivorous diet, that the greens were actually poisoning him. All those vegetables, I don't care if it's spinach, broccoli, it's maybe too subtle for you to notice, but there's poisonous aspects to them, and you'll actually be better off to get rid of them. As I did, I was eating like huge piles of broccoli and stuff like that before, and afterward. I mean, I can't even. There's no way to explain. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, people can't. They find it so hard to believe, but I'm telling you, not only can you live on a pure meat diet, you'll feel way better. It'll some people, it's just completely changed their life. Like in the case of Jordan Peterson, You know, this is an extremely intelligent guy, university professor, University of Toronto, changed his life because the plants are poisonous, and people just, they've been lied to about it, and they haven't been given the correct information. They don't understand human physiology. You know, I'm just saying, just do your own research into it. My hunger levels are way down. I was measuring how much food I was eating, like I was weighing out everything, the whole bodybuilder thing, you know. And after I switched over, because I started out with keto and then I went into field carnivore. Based on what my hunger was, like the only way I can describe the hunger I had eating a regular diet, you know, it might be some broccoli and some rice and occasional bread, or, you know, the hunger levels I experienced my entire life, I would describe now as ravenous hunger, unnatural ravenous hunger. Now, I don't experience hunger anywhere near what I did. Like, the hunger you people experience is not natural, guaranteed. And the amount of food I was eating went down to somewhere between 25 to 35% of what I ate before. Like, the bulk of food I needed was way less. So, you know, it looks like, you know, because it's the proper nutrition for the kind of animal that we are, my body wasn't sending some of the hunger signals as a result of not getting adequate nutrition. Some of it has to do with carbs. Carbs cause a hormonal response in the body that makes you hungry. And that's the whole thing that has to do, you know, when the fruit appears and your body wants you to eat it, and then you have a hormonal response that puts you in fat storage mode, and you start storing fat. And your body wants you to eat all the fruit when you find it in the wild. But we're not in the wild anymore, and we got carbs everywhere, so you don't need that mechanism, but it's there, and that mechanism has no evolutionary history dealing with a situation like this, and that's why we have so much obesity and a bunch of diseases. Yeah, I really didn't want to get on that topic tonight, but I'm trying to catch up to the chat. That's why your eyes are set forward. Predation. Yeah. Bears will eat anything. North Carolina to eat the trash. Like, it's amazing how much less food I need. Like, I only eat once a day, and sometimes I only eat every other day. Like, I don't need the food. Do I look like I'm wasting away up in this bitch? It's because fatty red meat's what you're supposed to live on. This stupid chat keeps jumping on me. I'm not saying necessarily everybody should go to only meat, you know, still eat a little bit of mushrooms and a little bit of fruit every now and then. But what I'm telling you is that I lived for the longest period of time, 6 months straight, on only animal, and I was doing wonderfully on it. I've been cheating a lot lately, though. I went down to that Amish restaurant down there, and let me tell you what, 45 minutes after I got back, my blood sugar did a little roller coaster ride, and I was out I was probably in a diabetic coma. They lay the carbs on down there, but I need to stop doing that. You never said he was dancing. There's some people out there making that claim. That's why I said that. They're claiming it has something to do with being aliens. Yeah, I've figured out. The gig is up. Everybody likes avocados. I'm a living proof that I can't stand avocados, man. I don't know why people like those things. So I can eat because I can rest. What the hell, Michael? Joe, it's work, just planning, packing, and driving. I'm the keto health plan, mostly meat and eggs. Yeah. I talked a little bit about the eggs before. Like if you do this, like I strongly recommend you make sure you eat eggs. I think eggs save civilization, but that's a whole other story. Is it just me, or does the pic of the world on the right side look like Godzilla? It might be. I'm gonna play that video here in a second if I ever catch up the chat. The French fries. Polar bear liver super high in vitamin K. They say you can't eat it though. It's too hot. It's too much. The sea of the west coast of Africa. Maybe. Or east. It may be. Squash Cowboy says, I'm happy eating Mexican food and chips and hot sauce. Yeah, ribeyes, man. I ain't had a ribeye in a long time. I need to make sure I get a ribeye in here pretty quick. Had a big burger, French fry, and apple pie. Uncle Bones, that is a trip considering most sources of vitamin K. Judy's getting hungry. pH balances have so much more to do with than what we shouldn't consume. Danny says, when I was in my 20s, I trained like Arnold. Now I'm 55 and train more like Cheech and Chong. Storing up for the winter in case I get snowed in. Then you see Godzilla. Danny says, hey, the hurricane finally blew through and it cleared out last night, but it went to New York. Well, maybe it'll clear out New York a little bit. Brady's grain. I know, Hiveless. I know. I don't usually eat it, but it's poison on a plate diet. Well, there's a little more to it. I talked about it previously, about how eggs are kind of serving as a rough substitute for the nutritional content of animal brain. See, humans, when they killed before the Younger Dryas impact occurred, and we were eating all these megafauna, we would totally eat brain, and we would totally eat bone marrow regularly. And brain is like one of the best things that humans could eat. And everyone brings up prions and all that stuff. Yeah, of course. You can get salmonella from chicken too. Look, it's what we're designed to eat. I'm sorry. But the nutritional content of the brain isn't in our diet anymore because we don't eat the brain. So, but chickens, eggs serve as a rough substitute. It's not, could be a lot better, but it's a very different food. But so without that nutrition, from those eggs, which, look what people do. A lot of people eat eggs every morning. You wouldn't eat the same food for dinner every night, but you are fine with eating eggs every morning, right? And I think the reason is because we need that nutrition to support our brain and other functions in the body. So I have been having a hard time eating the farm fresh eggs because of that taste thing. But I'm thinking of maybe just drinking them down raw, Rocky style, so I don't have to worry about the taste anymore. But I think the government did something to us with some kind of food additive. I don't know. I'm still working on it. I can't figure out why this thing and that thing, anyway, something's up. This thing should not exist. But Michael says now all I hear is Blue Oyster Cult in my head. You fit on a plate. I was on a live stream earlier, and Matt Troyce, and he's in New York. He showed out the window, and the road looks like a river. Oh, there goes Tokyo. Gee, you want to? Did I actually almost catch it? Yeah, hiveless people always say that, but most of the time you're perfectly fine. You're at risk eating a lot of things, but there's people out there eating raw deer brain right now without a problem. So it's in my head. I'll be humming that song. We'll play a little bit of this video here. It's a place in Africa that has ended up being kind of an unclaimed territory.
It's located right here in Africa, and it's called Bir Tawil. Despite being sandwiched in between Egypt in the north with a population of 100 million people and Sudan in the south with a population of 43 million people, neither government claims Bir Tawil, and neither does any other country, person, or entity on the planet. Not a single person lives here, and it's about the size of Luxembourg in Europe. Because nobody lives here, there aren't any roads, towns, or any development whatsoever. It's literally just an empty Luxembourg-sized plot of land in the middle of the Sahara Desert, full of absolutely nothing but sand and rocks. Since there isn't any government and there aren't any laws, it means that you can basically just show up here and then do whatever you want, including attempting to create your own country. And many have already tried that. In 2014, an American dad from Virginia showed up and claimed to have established the Kingdom of North Sudan in Bir Tawil with a flag that was designed by his kids. A few months later after that, a couple Russian guys showed up, planted a Russian flag, and claimed to have established the creatively named Kingdom of Middle Earth. And then in 2017, an Indian guy showed up and claimed to have established the Kingdom of Dixit after his last name and planted his own flag. All three of these guys' claims to Bir Tawil overlap with one another, and there's been some great Twitter squabbling between them in the past. And I plan on joining them in the future by claiming Bir Tawil as the Kingdom of Real-Life Lore, or the KRLL for short. Of course, I have never visited Bir Tawil, but that hasn't stopped dozens of people from claiming it before in the past, and it doesn't stop you from claiming it yourself down in the comments either with your own clever name. The point being is that anybody can claim Bir Tawil for themselves, but actually enforcing those claims is rather difficult because A, it's an empty plot of desert in the middle of the Sahara and there aren't any roads leading to it from any.
Yeah, it's a interesting situation. I'll bring this other video on to kind of explain the well, if this thing will work. They talk a little bit about the British. I think this is it. We'll see. No, that's not it. We were just watching that. There we go.
Is of the disputed border between Egypt and Sudan. In particular, this bit here called Beer to Will.
A bit of land the size of London, which nobody wants.
As with many badly drawn borders, it starts with the British.
So we'll draw a line here in the middle of the desert, ignoring all tribal boundaries, because we own this place anyway, so I don't really see it being a problem. Can I please have a sandwich?
It turns out the British got very good at drawing straight lines, seemingly unaware of all the trouble they were to cause. But once a line's been drawn, that's final, right?
Unright.
3 years later, in 1902, the British drew a new line to better reflect cultural differences.
We should never have drawn that straight line. I can assure you the man who drew that line has been shamed.
So now there were two borders, a straight one and a squiggly one.
And here came the problem. This area, known as the Halaib Triangle, was valuable.
Yeah, that's enough of that. Anyway, they mentioned that a few other micronationalists have claimed it, and I'm here to inform them that their claim is not recognized by the Eternus Empire. It belongs to us. So there you have it. But it's, another one of those situations where some weird scenario has amounted to two countries, neither one claiming a piece of land between them, and pretty interesting how often this happens. What's up, Timmy boy? Welcome to the chat. Tone deaf. I'll be videoing everything uncut and uncensored. Awesome. Might piss some people off, but oh well. Hey, it'd be fine. They'll get over it. Danny says, it's all those growth hormones they add to vegetables that mess you up. I only eat organic, local grown vegetables. Don't be stupid. Get your vegetables from the same guy. Well, there's that too. But part of the problem is like in the case of all the brassicas, broccoli, cabbage, Brussels sprouts, all that stuff. When the plant when it's damaged, like when you eat it, some chemicals react with each other to form a chemical called sulforaphane. Sulforaphane is mildly toxic to humans. You don't need you don't want it in your body. That's the same chemical they claim is cancer fighting, but the problem is it's just like chemo. Chemo, yes, it'll kill cancer cells, but cancer cells are your cells. They're just defective. So anything that will kill a cancer cell will also kill a normal human cell, which sulforaphane can do. And it can also turn a normal human cell cancerous sometimes. Same thing. So it's basically like a mild form of chemo when you eat a brassica. It's poisonous. Spinach, that grittiness to spinach, that's oxocrystals. And, people who have had problem with stones forming may be interested to know that they may be thinking they're eating a very healthy spinach salad, but in reality, they're helping to create stones, and you don't want that shit. That equates to toxic. It'll have a bad effect on you. Fiber. You don't need fiber. You absolutely do not need fiber. I don't care how deeply you believe you need fiber. It's complete bullshit. You don't need it. You absolutely don't need it. And I don't want to try and search and find that study where they not only did they prove you don't need it, they proved that when you eat zero fiber, it's the exact opposite of what you've been told, right? You've been told that you need fiber to move things along, but the people that had the highest fiber in their diet were the ones that still had the highest level of constipation symptoms at the end of the trial. The people with the lower amount had less symptoms, and the people on a zero fiber diet had a 100% cure rate from chronic constipation. This is 180 degrees flip from what people experience. And I don't want to talk too much about my experience other than to say I have confirmed this. I zero fiber for 6 months straight, and I didn't get stopped up. Okay, so find an uphill battle here, because pretty much everything you've been told about diet has been wrong. They try to demonize red meat, and red meat's like one of the healthiest things you can eat. It's like it should be the basis of that damn food pyramid, not grains. So I mean, everybody go do your own research. Actually look into this. Don't it's like, don't be like a vegan when you tell a vegan you need to research diet and understand. They'll go look at more stuff that confirms their bias, confirmation bias. They will not look at real information. They'll look at somebody on some YouTube channel, looks just as crazy as me, that's telling them, this other shit. Well, don't listen to me. I mean, just go look into it. Actually look into it yourself, and you'll see. Get your raw honey. What about shrooms? Love them along with my rare steak. Yeah. Well, interesting thing about fungi is fungi are actually more closely related to animals than plants. So, it's a whole nother group, right? They even breathe oxygen like animals do, unlike it's not they don't breathe carbon dioxide. But, it's not something that's going to be a huge part of your diet. You don't want to eat 50% of your diet as mushrooms, but they're okay. And if you look into some of the interesting stuff from Paul Stamets, he's a mycologist. Mycology is the biology of fungi. He's like one of the best people to look at when you want to know about mushrooms, including psilocybin mushrooms. He talks a lot about psilocybin mushrooms as well. Of course, you gotta be careful. If you're collecting wild mushrooms, don't eat something that's poisonous. Sometimes some of them can defend themselves. So, I just wouldn't go crazy on mushrooms. Don't eat a ton of them necessarily. But yeah, you're fine. I do that sometimes too, because when you're buying a meal and it comes with sides, there's not a lot of options to fill in that don't have carbs in it, if you're trying to avoid plants. So what I usually end up is something like that: some sauteed mushrooms and some cottage cheese, and that works. Because cottage cheese, it's a dairy product, yes, but it's still animal proteins and fats, so it's fairly acceptable if you're eating highly carnivorous. Michael says he picks up a bus and he throws it back down as he waits through the buildings to the center of the town. What? The last one is photoshopped. I don't know what you're talking about. It's Photoshop. Joe, that's going to be a hoot of a time. Yeah. Not me though. I'll cut that part out. Watching this, you could be watching my latest video and giving me your opinion. How long is your video? Which we be half the video? What? Maybe we could. Or maybe watching some oh man. Cowboy, don't deny us the bloopers. Blocktaria. I forgot, you suggested a name for my micronation. It was founded in 2005. It's called the Eternus Empire. Couldn't you see me patting old bear on the head? What? So that is where we are moving to. No, I was just because I watch micronational stuff sometimes. It pops up. It popped up on my YouTube today. That place, and you know, I try to mention a little bit about micronational stuff on occasion on Random Live. I'll keep it off. I'll try to keep it off Phenomenon. I don't really belong on Lockbeard Phenomenon on Saturday nights, but this is for any subject on the Random Lives. So, carrots, potatoes, onions, and certain beans. Yeah. I still, like I said, I ain't been sticking to purely carnivorous of late. But one of the points I make about beans, like, about rip your ass out when you eat beans half the time. Well, that's an indication that it's not working with your digestion. You shouldn't. If you were eating what humans are supposed to be eating, then you wouldn't be about blowing your ass out. That's an indication that I guess most people don't think about. Okay, beans make me do this, so this is an indication that it's causing some digestive distress. Maybe that means that beans are not meant for human consumption, and that conclusion would be absolutely 100% correct. Beans are not food that humans are designed to eat, at all. And you got those people out there trying to push, beans are wonderful food for you, and it got this in it and that in it. Yeah, that's great. You can go eat some goddamn hemlock too, and you're going to get a little vitamin C out of it, but it doesn't mean you should eat the damn hemlock. I feel sorry for anybody that didn't get to watch Benny Hill. Yeah, that'd be the entire younger generation. Gotta go, folks. Live. Live well. See you later, Joe. Thanks for dropping by. First time here. I know that a lot of people coming out of Ken's chat hate to see him shut it down, but so that's why grab a few people sometimes when I'm over there. So, well, come over here. We can keep talking about shit. Wow, talking shit a lot. Yeah. Yeah, well, I put a big turd on the thumbnail, so kind of set the scene. Have a fair share of hops and barley. Yeah, I mean, I used to go out of my way to eat some of that stuff, because I was always thought it was healthy, and like you can just feel like this like there's bloat that's gone, and your digestive system from eating all those poisonous things, it's inflamed, and there's just so much wrong with eating those kinds of things. I'm just saying, if you want optimal health, you might look into what I'm saying, because you can get there. I've had over 150 procedures done, from laser cysto to lithotrips. I was making 2 to 5 or 10 milliliters. Oh shit, Timmy. What kind of stone? I mean, because there's different kinds of stones. Mushrooms equal meat. Interesting. No, they don't equal meat, but they're closer. They're closer to animal than plant, and it's kind of funny because most people look at that as think it's almost a plant, but fungi is a completely different thing. It's its own thing. I'm just saying that look it up. Mushrooms are more closely related to animals than plants. Iron Dogs and Magic Mushrooms is a great documentary. I don't know if I've seen that one. I've seen lots of stuff on psilocybin mushrooms. I've never tried them, but my interest is in the potential for the effect on the mind, the evolutionary potential that we are evolved to actually use them. And at higher doses, it appears that they crack that window open into the. We talked about this a little bit before about what's really going on when people use hallucinogens. How you're designed in order to function in this reality. You need to have a wall. It's a biochemical wall between your piece of consciousness and the consciousness of the rest of the universe. And that this isn't a magical thing. This is a completely scientifically explainable thing if you don't listen to mainstream quantum physics bullshit, right? They're kind of getting there. They're starting to figure some shit out, they figured out instantaneous action at a distance. Okay, there's instantaneous interconnectivity of all points in the universe, constituting a web that's basically a massive, infinite neural network consciousness. And these substances fiddle with the dial on your radio. Not a radio station. It's not broadcasting it's not creating or generating your what you are, your consciousness. It's a receiver of the signals that make up you. But you need to be, isolated, tuned to a certain station, if you will. Kim Wheeler talks about this. He uses the radio analogy as well. Although, don't try talking to him about hallucinogens. He don't want to have anything to do with that kind of shit. He believes that you should use learned practices to achieve some of this. But with hallucinogens, it's like whereas you normally have this solid wall between you and the rest of the universe consciously, the hallucinogens will open a little window. In the case of like something like mushrooms, in the case of DMT, it'll fling a door open, and in the case of 5-MeO DMT, it knocks the walls completely down, and you completely stop being an individual. You are no longer an individual. You have completely rejoined the universal consciousness, and until the 5-MeO DMT levels come down in your physical body. And because people don't understand that's what's happening, they trying to interpret what they see and what they experience, and they don't know what the hell. And even if I explain that to them in that way, I feel like it's an inadequate explanation. I'm probably not the best person I'm not the best person at explaining things necessarily. So, but yeah, weird shit. I know it sounds weird, but the universe is weird. Sorry, Fantastical Fungi is the name of the documentary on Netflix. Yeah. Yeah, everyone should learn a little bit about mycology. To me, it's extremely interesting. Try growing some mushrooms and learn it. I mean, like if it's easy to grow. If you it's pretty simple. I mean, you can go pick a mushroom, throw it in a blender with some water, and completely annihilate that mushroom. Turn it into a slush, and then go pour it on some wood chips or whatever, and all those cells will reunite. All those mycelium will grow back together and re-network, and start to colonize those wood chips or whatever the appropriate medium is. It may not be wood chips, it may be something else, but and start working together again. Now try doing that with a plant. All you're going to get is useless sludge. But with fungi, each cell, as long as it's got favorable conditions, can start to multiply and reconnect. The mycelial threads will seek each other out and join together and start functioning as one mycelial mass, and it's just amazing stuff. And there's no, like, you can go to the store and get you some mushrooms you like to buy at the store and just grow them. You can grow from what's in that container. There'll even be spores present too. You can grow from each individual spore can grow, but the mushrooms themselves, you can chop them up or whatever and throw them into some whatever medium is required for the type of mushroom, and just start growing your own mushrooms. I mean, I've never really been short on mushrooms, especially when I lived. I used to live in a town called Miami, Oklahoma. For a while, I worked at a mushroom farm there, and they were, producing a variety of mushrooms, but mainly the button mushrooms is what they were producing. So the number of spores floating around that area just had to be just crazy, and so they're everywhere. Like my backyard one time flushed out because there's a mycelial mat in the ground all the time. It's always, it's pretty much always there. But when the conditions are right, it shoots up the sex organ, which is the mushroom. That's what you're eating, is a sexual organ. The body of the thing is in the ground all the time. So apparently, my entire backyard was one massive mycelial mat for button mushrooms, and they popped out thousands and thousands of them. Couldn't have eaten them all. Couldn't have picked them all. There's just too many. Animals are made of plants. Yeah, hiveless. Hiveless? What are you? Some kind of vegan? Because when the shit hits the fan bad enough and we have to start eating each other, I'm eating the vegans first because they're eating like my prey does. So clearly that makes them prey. It's really interesting, Judy. Timmy, been through a lot. You'll make it, Timmy. I mean, how bad do they want to understand everything? You go find you some 5-MeO DMT, which is as illegal as hell. But when you knock them walls down and you have rejoined the universal consciousness, you will have access to all knowledge that has ever existed. It's just, can you process it? How much will you retain when you come back? And some people call it the Akashic record, if you want to call it that. It's the part of the memory of the entire universe. It has memory. All the answers to every question is out there. It's just, how much do you retain when you come back, So I don't know. I'd like to do some experimentation with it, like some legit, trials where we have certain procedures and people are the participants would be instructed to be looking for the answer to a particular question that they couldn't possibly know the answer to unless they got it out of the universal consciousness while using 5-MeO-DMT. Yeah. When I make a pot of beans, I make sure I only put 239 beans in it. One more could make it 240. 240? Yeah. I think he told that joke on one of the shows one time, as I recall. Team Voice says, I'm actually fine. I had a bladder reimplant done. Shoot, man. 101 subs like wild turkey, Lockbeard. 101. Yeah. One of these days I need to try to grab a whole bunch more people out from over at Ken's. So, hey, come over here. Let's make some noise. Yes, Judy, we need to compare notes. Iron Dogger, love learning. You have a lot of wisdom that I would like to hear. Uric acid and calcium stones? Yeah. I don't remember in regards to like carnivorous eating. Trying to think who would know more about that. Like you wouldn't go over to Dr. Baker's channel because he's not really gonna know. I mean, he might, but surprisingly, the person that probably knows is Frank Tufano. He's got a YouTube channel called Frank Tufano. In regards to eating carnivore and in dealing with those kinds of stones, he has done so much research. I know he's goofy and sometimes he wears costumes and shit, and he's kind of half comedian but he's highly knowledgeable. I find his information trustworthy. So his name's Frank Tufano. It's spelled Tufano. And you might like search his channel or something, see if you can find, because he may have made a video about that in particular. I don't know. People who live on the island of South Pacific certainly don't have a mainly carnivorous diet, and they have optimal health. Well, I mean, some places, like, you got to remember, humans have spread out to places they wouldn't have originally lived in, and have had to adapt to those places. So they may have some level of adaptation to what they had on the island if they've been there long enough. But to say they have optimal health, though, I don't know. I mean, how can we possibly know that they have optimal health? They may be pretty healthy, but how do we know they have optimal health? Let's see. Yes, it sure are. If only we could achieve that health. We gotta go big day tomorrow. Hopefully, I'll go live Saturday with Mogs. Cool, Squatching Cowboy. Well, we'll see. We'll see you later. Thanks for coming, man. Good night and safe travels. God bless and be safe. And everyone else. Agree humans are meat eaters. Our eyes are to the front to hunt. Yeah. Yeah. And there's a whole bunch of physiology behind it too. It's just deep stuff for a random live, right? There's just so many things that contribute to that. I mean, our ability to throw, like look into that. It's interesting because since we diverged from chimpanzees, we've had heavy evolutionary pressure to change to something that can throw really well, compared to like chimpanzees can't throw anywhere near as well as we can. They just don't have the shoulder structure that we have, and that's because we've been throwing shit at animals for a very long time. And we've gotten really good at it, and we've been doing it so much that we have evolved and changed. So it's just another one of the lines of evidence behind this is that's what we're designed to do. And getting into the games again, so many of our games involve throwing stuff, baseball and stuff like that. Throwing stuff and hitting a target. We're heavily fixated on that stuff. So it's an uphill battle trying to get people to, because there's just so much behind it, and I can't say it all, and I'm not the best person to present the stuff, and but I've become convinced that this is the reality, and I used to be an extremely avid gardener because I was I was really interested in growing vegetables because I was eating so many vegetables, and I have pretty much completely stopped vegetable gardening. I don't grow vegetables anymore because I stopped eating them for the most part. Yeah, it's just, I don't know what more to add to that. See you later. See you later, man. I'm glad I got to share my mom, the Western band. Their music was a classic time. Weren't we going to possibly share a video? I guess maybe another time for that, I guess. I'm glad to. Oh, we already looked at that one. I've not shared that with anyone in a long time. Timmy Boy. Yeah, exactly. It's called ego death. 5-MEODNT. If you get enough of it, will cause what some people are calling ego death. Your individuality goes away, and you're missing an R there, but God particle. They call it the God particle, and I don't really like the word, but that's what they call it. So if you think of the universal consciousness as, if that's what you want to define as God, then I guess it makes sense from that perspective. But are talked about in ayahuasca and DMT, depending on what you're trying to accomplish with it. Yeah. I don't know if iron left. I tried growing mushroom. Yeah. I think everybody should look into it, try it. It's really not that big a deal. I mean, you almost can't screw it up, unless you forget the mist of water on it, if it's an open kind of growing situation. Yeah, they do. They have kits. So the canned mushrooms, are they nutritious? I mean, they're okay to eat, you know. Now, the cells are probably going to be all dead in the canned mushrooms, but you might still have some live spores. So if you're thinking about trying to grow from them, I mean, I wouldn't recommend that. You want to go get the fresh mushrooms, but for that. But just eating, they're okay, you know. Piva said, "No, I'm not a vegan, just not a meat supremacist." Well, join us. Join us. I promise you. I promise you. Look into it. Look into. I mean, there's just so much behind it. Why I've come to that conclusion after all these years, you know. Yeah. Let's see. Morels are great, but where I live, have trouble getting them. Yeah, people don't like to tell you where they pick their morels. If you have your own land, I mean, you should, like, you know, you should, if it's at all possible, try to get your own land. Everyone should have their own land. Because pretty soon people without any land are going to probably find themselves in a far more difficult situation than others than people that do. So, but if you have your own land and you're in an area that morels can grow, there's some things you can do to improve the likelihood of you finding, you know, growing morels on your land. There's some people that have actually been having some success with growing them in a captive situation. But you know, look around, see what kind of trees you got. You know, there's certain trees that are help promote morels because they have a relationship with the morel fungus in the ground. So, you know, you could try to plant more of the right kind of trees, but hopefully you already got some of the ones you need. Elms, tulip, poplar, stuff like that. But you can look up a full list somewhere. But and then I would say like in January, probably January's best time, because a lot of areas here in the United States, at least in my area, it's you know, here in Oklahoma, January is actually a very dry month as far as precipitation goes, and it's winter time, so nothing's trying to grow. And go out there and burn off everything. Just burn it all off. So yeah, you know, and you can look up some other ideas people have. You know, I mean, you want to kind of rake the leaves or blow the leaves away from the trunks of your trees so you don't damage the trees with the fire, but you want to burn off all the leaves and clear out underbrush and stuff. And yeah, thanks, Judy. I rarely use Facebook, and it's in the cloud most often. Yeah, Facebook sucks. I've been trying to stay off of there as much as I can. I understand that. Okay, just wanted to share something with you. Sons of Purple Sage, then you can see what I wanted to share. I think the world of you. Who, me? Iblis Rock. I rarely listen to music anymore, though. Have you seen any of the feeds in Soul Limit? I'm not sure. produces some massive rugby beast.
I didn't get that.
Let's see here. How far behind chat am I? Haven't heard of that. Fox out by chickens. Uncle Bones says Ghost Riders in the Sky would be great song on your Northern Lights vid. Lots of great songs from Judy's folks. Judy Wheeler says, Uncle Bones, did you see the album? Uncle Bones, great idea. I will check that out. Iveless says, koala bears have eyes that face forward. Sometimes there's outliers, Iveless. Icon says, Judy, that's still correct. Western was the common title for that kind of music until the end of the 50s. In Nashville got a hold of it and pissed on it, and it became country and Western. I grew up listening to them. Michael says, nowhere near that kind of Western, but I love the Dean Martin, Ricky Nelson song, My Rifle, My Pony, and Me. Uncle Bones, that's awesome. Wasn't that song in Rio Bravo? Damn Coyote. You need to get some of these dogs like we got out here to keep the coyotes away. You can coexist with coyotes if you got a couple, at least a couple of livestock guarding dogs. You don't want to. One thing about coyotes, a lot of people think that if they shoot them, they're helping the situation. You're really not. When you hear them coyotes out hooting and hollering, one of the things they're doing is they're taking a roll call, and if somebody's missing, if somebody's not responding, they know they totally realize they're missing some members. So if you shot couple coyotes, what'll happen is the females will have a bigger litter to replace the lost ones in their number. So they just replenish, So it's best just to coexist with them, let them live their lives out there, but they can't get to your chickens if you got a couple of livestock guardian dogs out there, at all times. They, the 24/7 they guard and keep the coyotes back. And so this is what humans have done for their livestock for thousands of years. Like I had a Great Pyrenees guarding my chickens, and that breed's got, they say, about 8,000 years of breeding behind it. Took her from the pound, she was a young one, and put her out there in a chicken coop, and no training at all. She went right to chicken protecting. She just knew she was supposed to protect them, and she did. She even took down a hawk. Well, I mean, she may have took down more, but we found one, that she had killed, trying to eat the chickens. Judy says, Icon, exactly right. That's about the time they quit the band, settled in Florida, and started a landscape and garden center. I grew up in that business. Iron Dogger says, hey, woohoo, new high score for me. I destroyed 4 out of 5 cast iron pans cooking tonight. But hey, the night's still young. Icon, yes, sir. One of my favorites, Walker Brennan. Got a little country music talk going on up in here. You're a rock god, huh? That's my mom and who's your mom and dad? Judy Wheeler, that sounds like it was a good time and a Florida garden center to boot. Was it far enough south for pineapples and other bromeliads? And Bill the Wonder Horse. Humans are outliers too, then? Well, I mean, basically, that's what I said a while ago in regards to the teeth. It was quite the cast in the flick. The coyotes. That's your mom and dad. The coyote. You talk what? Or yell at them. Yell at the coyotes. Icon. We had everything you could grow in Florida. Dad said you could grow lead pencils. My guard dog will eat my chicken. She is a blue heeler. Yeah. Some breeds just aren't really. They're not made for it. You know, they're not. The different breeds are made for different things. I think I've talked about before. You know, curing chicken killing dogs. I took 2 chicken killing dogs, and with positive reinforcement, not negative reinforcement, I was able to make them immediately stop killing chickens. And I didn't know it was going to work. I was just like, I had to do something because I, you know, had to make them stop. A neighbor's dog had come over and taught them to do that. At first, they didn't know what to do with chickens, so they didn't do anything. But the neighbor's dog taught them to kill chickens, and so I had to. They weren't my dogs; they were my buddy's dogs, because we were at his property. But one of them was a boxer, and one of them was a mixed breed dog. But I was able. It took me about 15 minutes, and they never killed a chicken again. He had sense of humor over everything. No, I married one. Yes, he was a natural jokester. And that says she is good with horses and kids. That's about it. I don't know if you can train all dogs to stop killing chickens without negative reinforcement. I was always told as a kid that there was very little you could, once a dog gets a taste of blood, you can't make it stop. You got to shoot it. Or I heard of people saying that you could try taking the dead chicken and beating the living crap out of the dog with the dead chicken, or tie the dead chicken around the dog's neck and leave it there until it rots off, and that those things would stop the dog from killing. But I couldn't do that to my buddy's dogs, right? And I don't want to do that to the dogs. That's just me. So I came up with a different plan, and it worked. And so, yeah. I think I described it before on here. Sounds like a wonderful father, Judy. Positive reinforcement is usually the best way to go with dogs, yeah. Well, ultimately, you know, your dogs want to please you. And, but if look, dogs know your intent. Like, if you don't like your dogs, they know. And they're probably going to be less likely to want to please you in that circumstance. So then the question I would ask of that person is, why do you even have dogs? You know, like when I see someone chain a dog up in their backyard and that's where it stays for the rest of its life. You know, it's like, why do you please fence the yard? Don't put dogs on a chain, please. That messes with them. It's endless frustration, and I think it's cruel myself. a fence is one thing, but you put a chain on them, and it does things to them. It makes them kind of crazy, and with a fence, they just perceive that this is just a barrier I can't get past. But they know you put them on that chain and made a prisoner out of them. Mark says, I had a mongrel terrier which protected my chooks. He killed the young foxes that would get around the coop. Good dog right there. She's still young and does courses. Icon says, where'd Hiveless go? Did you pick on his bunny food too much? Maybe. I don't know. He might have left. Yeah. Bunny food is right. My blue heeler has 1/2 acre to run all day. Yeah, that's good. The more area to run they can get, the better. In my circumstance with the chickens are free range, the dogs are free range. There weren't even fences, endless area to run. So, I had to, the dogs, like I spent more time with my buddy's dogs than he did. Like I'd let him come in the trailer sometimes. They knew that I really cared for them, and I certainly didn't want to do anything mean to them. And so I came up with a way to train them to stop. That was a positive reinforcement. And it only took 15 minutes, and it may have even taken less. It just had to, but I mean, it did require that they have a firm grasp of the word no. If they have a firm grasp of the word no. Some dogs seem to not quite get it. And I think it's because a lot of people have a habit of just yelling no at the dogs just all the time, and the dog, they don't really take the time to work with the dog. They're just yelling at it all the time, and the dog never really kind of figures out what things mean. But no and sit. I used no, sit, and then some food, and before it was over with, they were broke of killing chickens forever without beating them or doing anything mean to them. Shield protect for sure. Careful now. Hiva says careful now. The icon. Australian blue healer, yes. Judy says, oh, I bet so, Annette. Icon says, hi, Bliss B. I knew I could roust you out of the woodwork. Yeah, he's hanging around somewhere. He probably went to gnaw on a carrot or something. Mark says, great cattle dogs, the Blueies. Had them on the family farm. Great family dogs, too. No, yeah. Annette says, we put courses in our yard and she learned them fast, but she is still bites strangers and hates chickens. Do the roosters attack her or anything? I wonder if she's just had some kind of negative experience with them. It's funny how some people react to chickens too. The rooster comes at them and they run. I'm like, don't do that. See, he's got the upper hand. When a rooster comes at you, stand your ground. When he gets close to you and tries to flog you, just bend over, put your hand on his back, and then push him down to the ground. Make him sit down on the ground and hold him there. And if he pecks at you, don't be skittish about him pecking at you. He can't really do any damage. You know, I've been pecked so many times by chickens and roosters, and they're not going to rip a hole in you. And it shouldn't take long. If you push him down the ground and hold him there, you've dominated the rooster. And then if he tries it again, just face him and bend down, put your hand on his back, push him down on the ground, and hold him there for a little bit, and he'll figure out, okay, attacking this person is probably not the best thing, but you're probably going to need every member of the family to do it, because, you know, he might still think he can do it to one of the kids, and teach the kids to do this. Go out there with them and say, you know, go do this to the rooster. Or if the rooster comes at you, do this. And the rooster will stop attacking. You got to dominate the dang rooster. You know, you don't have to hurt him or anything. You just got to show him who's boss. No roosters. I love having roosters around. Got to check out everyone. Thanks for the great show, Lockbeard. Thanks, all in chat. Thanks, Mark. We'll see you next time, I guess, or sometime. Have a good night, or day, or I don't know what time of day it is where you're at. Off the top of my head. Bone says, see you, Mark. Annette says she watched a pit bull come on my land and kill about 5 ever since she wants them. See, so that's, you know, pretty much what happened. A neighbor also had a boxer, and he was a nice dog. I liked him. His name was Bullet. But he liked to kill chickens, and I shouldn't have chased him off the first time. Like, I chucked a rock at him, but I didn't hit him, but, you know, he was scared of me after that. So when I tried the positive reinforcement, I probably could have done that with him, I think, and get him to stop killing chickens. He was from a neighbor's property about a quarter mile away. But all I did was I went outside. I would regularly come home with some old bread from the cafeteria at work, and I'd usually bring it in a milk crate. And the chickens and the dogs loved to come and get some bread from me, and they'd all come running, you know. So I came out there with a milk crate full of this old bread, and I went out there and stood there, and the chickens wanted it, the dogs wanted it, and they came towards me and threw a piece of bread down, and the chickens dived for it, and the dogs started to go for it, but I told them no, and I made them sit. And then I, you know, just gave it a second, made them, you know, sit there and let the chickens eat, but not very long. And then I gave the older dog a piece of bread, and then the younger dog a piece of bread. You know, I don't know if there's a strong reason why I did it in that order, but that's just what way I felt was the right way to do it, you know. And then they'd eat their bread, and then the chickens would finish their piece of bread. So then I threw another piece of bread down, and chickens started to go for it, and the dogs started to go for it, but I told them no, sit. And then, you know, they saw the chickens get to have the bread, and they're not allowed to go at the chickens. Gave the old dog a piece of bread and gave the young dog a piece of bread. And I just repeated that over and over for about 15 minutes. After that, the dogs never killed a chicken again. So, just needed them to associate that, you know, they were not allowed to go towards the chickens. I guess, I don't know what was really going on in their heads, but I just tried this and it worked. Icon says, last time an angry rooster got in my face and nailed me with a spur, he got dribbled like a basketball. Yeah. Speak their language. Like, So he probably just thinks you're fighting him, like another rooster. But you got to show him that you won. You jump, because what's happening when a rooster jumps on a hen's back? He's dominating the hen. Well, dominate the rooster. Your hand on his back is perceived in that way by the rooster. He'll stop. He might take you a few times to doing that, but he'll stop. If he doesn't stop, if you do that, I'd be surprised. Love the name Salisbury. Had a bourbon red turkey. He was a hot mess. He thought he was a dog. Let's see. And that says, Judy, I want to share my Bigfoot story with you sometime. May try that, Lockbeard. Thanks. Oh, you're welcome. Hope it works. Like I said, these dogs, they didn't kill any chickens until the other dog showed them. So it sounds like a similar situation you have. If your dog understands sit and no, that's the only commands I needed to use. So if you are ever up for it, please come share your experiences on Moki on Monster. Annette from Iron Dogger. Judy says he would run with dogs all along the fence line. People driving by would slow down to watch. I will never go live because trolls. Oh, just troll them back. We had what could be termed a troll in here that one night. Yeah, Truth Seeker thought he was going to come in here and just out troll the troll. He was going to be in here all butthurt. I mentioned Wes Germer and Sasquatch Chronicles, the hoax involved there. He was all butthurt about that. So, True Seeker may never come back in here bitching again because what did I do? I just focused on it entirely for one Lockbeard Phenomena show. I had no plans to do that either. I was like, Wes Germer was way down on my priority list, but True Seeker made it a priority because I needed to show Truth Seeker that coming in here calling me names because I mentioned that hoax was not going to make me shut up about it. I probably wouldn't have said anything about it, for quite a while. If Truth Seeker didn't come in here calling me names about it. And I haven't banned Truth Seeker. I'm not like those yahoos over at Bullshit Odyssey or Hidden Exaggeration or any of those other channels that like to ban everybody who says the slightest thing wrong. Truth Seeker can come in here and cuss me some more, and I'll just troll him again or laugh at him or whatever. He's not hurting my feelings. Truth Seeker's opinion of me matters nothing to me. So it's a complete waste of his or her time to come in here calling me names because I do not give a fuck. So he got what he deserved. I showed the document talking about the evidence for Wes Germer's hoax, and that happened because you came in here, Truth Seeker. You came in here trying to be all start shit. Okay, we're gonna go a little deeper on this then. Yeah, just out troll the trolls. They're just trolls. They're some of them are just looking to cause chaos and be offensive, and Others have other motivations, but all it is words on the screen, and you can ignore them. That's one way to do it. People call that "don't feed the trolls." I like to go after them. I'll feed them, but I'll feed them poison, right? Either way, and that maybe I will troll you. Michael says, Lockbeard, they used to have a lot of roosters in Oklahoma when it was, yeah, they shut that whole deal down. People were all mad about it, I don't know what I think about it. Look, the roosters want to fight, so yes, it's kind of an unnatural situation. So I don't know, man. I don't want to take a hard stance on it. Yeah. I mean, we kill these animals by the millions to eat, and everything else out in the woods is killing these animals all the time. And, I feel like it may be just a little much to be worrying about cockfighting, Putting the blades on the spurs seems a little rough, but I don't know. I don't want to take too hard of a stance on that myself. Totally understand. It's really cool group to troll, and trolls get extermination treatment. Keep my life out of the media. Yeah, some people prefer to do that. Icon says, I found it interesting how chickens go limp when you pick one up and turn it over so its legs up. Yeah, then it just glares at me like I'm some kind of dick. That's probably exactly what that chicken's thinking. Well, they can't do anything, and once you got them, like they just can't do anything. You're totally in control of them. Big Rob's here. Welcome, man. Coming in on the tail end of it. Lost my mind over things last night. What? It was fine, dude. Big Rob, hello. Our Dogger says, Judy Wheeler's no worries at all. I totally understand what you were feeling and expressing. It must have been something I missed. Tom Paul, welcome. How you doing? Let's go past all the highs and whatnot. Thanks. How are you doing there? Stay safe. Thank you. Actually, after that, I felt embarrassed. I must not be aware of what y'all are talking about. We safe? Yeah. Yeah, no need to feel embarrassed, whatever it was. What a hit y'all took. Must have missed something. Dogs are barking again out there. I don't know if I had anything else to throw on the screen. Let's see, did I do that? Yeah, I did that. And I did that. What else is going on out there? Looks Looks like the chat come to a standstill here for a second. I think I might go ahead and wrap her up here in a second. Yeah, good to know. Such amazing compassion. Y'all are incredible people. Yeah, there's a lot of good people in this group. Bone says, good night, Big Robs. Everybody else, anyone I miss, blood draw in the morning. Oh, shit. Well, hopefully it's not for anything really bad, Bones. I don't like letting them take my blood anymore. Used to, it didn't bother me, but some years back, some nurse was trying to poke my vein and kept messing, just kept poking and poking, and I never had a problem with it before, but I started getting lightheaded and stuff, and so now I just try to avoid anything like that altogether, right? And in my experiences with, doctors and, they don't find what's wrong with me. I end up finding what's wrong with me. What I mean? It's getting old at this point. It's like I go to the doctor, they poke and prod me, they can't figure out what's wrong, and then I go home. I say, you know what? I just need to tackle this, get online, engage, and figure. I got this, and in multiple cases, I figured out what was wrong with me when the doctors did not, and they didn't fix me. And it's usually something I'm consuming. I'm consuming something I shouldn't be consuming. So, doctors have been largely worthless to me. Listeners, y'all, due to my not entirely read me diet, I'm flagging. It's been fun. All right, Hylas. I'll turn you into a ball earther eating all red meat one of these days. You'll be a worldwide. You'll be hunting everything you can around the world. Or maybe not, I don't know. Mike says, Judy, don't you feel better now that you got that off your chest? Man, the chat just took off again. Good peeps. Leaving two in that. Well, we'll see you later. Yeah, you're welcome, Annette. Thank you for joining us tonight. We'll see you next time. Go eat a steak. We gotta work on them, Icon. Kind of worry about him, flat Earth and kind of resistance to he's resisting the meat. It's horrible to me. I need to make sure you need a ribeye tomorrow, with Hiveless in mind. No later. Icon says no laters, bro. Good. Good night to those y'all that are leaving. Hiveless, a pleasure as always. Take care. Good night, y'all. Be safe. Bugs all around. Yeah. It sounds like most everybody's pretty much ready to turn in. I'm kind of ready too. So probably going to shut her down in just a second. Thank you, Iron Dogger. Thanks for dropping by. So, random lives, I don't ever know for sure if I'm going to do them or not. That's why they're called random lives. So, it could happen anytime. So I don't know if I'm going to do one tomorrow night. Friday night, I'm going to be in a hotel room in another city. So, the hotels have all seemed to have decent Wi-Fi. So I might be doing a random live Friday night from a hotel room somewhere. And then, of course, Saturday night I do Lockbeard Phenomena, which is cryptids and paranormal focused. And I'm trying to keep it. It's not too hard to keep it on the paranormal on that one. And I have a big interest in going after calling out the hoaxers and the bullshit artists and the liars and the thieves that are out there, because we got plenty of them in the Bigfoot community, and they're fucking up the game. We're not getting the ball down the field like we should be because we got all this bullshit going on, muddying up the water. And I know that a lot of people don't want to, engage in this unpleasant business, and some of them tackle a little bit, but they're trying to play nice and not piss off too many people. And my give a shit ran out completely years ago. So, and it's really pissing me off because I want some answers, and we seem to be having problems because people have gotten brainwashed with various ideas of things that seem to be total bullshit and have no evidence to back them up, and it's slowing us down. They could be putting their energies into things that are legit, and instead they're latched on to various crazy shit. And there's people that are partly responsible for that, spreading this misinformation, spreading lies, hoaxing. So I'll tackle them. I don't give a fuck. Steak sounds good for tomorrow. We'll have to share with my dog, Icon says. Yeah. If I don't do it tomorrow, I may do it Friday night because I gotta go out of town Friday night. But tomorrow I might stay on the property and just cook some. I got some bacon and sausage I can cook on the fire tomorrow. I might just do that. But I'll get me a steak sometime pretty soon, though. Damn it, I haven't had one in a while. Good night. Hi, Michael. So, all right then. We talked about all kinds of random shit tonight. So, expect more of the same in the future. I don't know. Trying to figure out what I can do to improve things on the channel, and I'd like to make it where everything is at a regular time, but I just can't right now, except for Lockbeard Phenomena. It's always at 6 Central Time on Saturday. And I don't anticipate the new job interfering with that. So, we'll see. I mean, even after I get, if I get Lockbeard Stock and Barrel going, it'll be pretty much the same thing, except it'll have a regular time. So I want to kind of differentiate between that. I want people to be able to look and they'll see, the thumbnail and the color scheme of the thumbnail will be different from this one, and you'll know that that's the regularly scheduled show that's kind of like a random live. There's kind of a short format kind of thing I want to do, and it'll be probably random, because I was thinking about uploading short videos, but I thought, well, why don't I, it's easy enough just to go live and just let the chips fall where they may, instead of trying to, make a video and then upload it. I'll just jump on the StreamYard, go live, and it'll be short, maybe 20 minutes or something like that. I'm not sure yet. And if people show up, they show up. It doesn't really matter. And it still ends up on YouTube. And so I just figured I'll just do that with everything. Just go live with everything. Those are things that could happen, sooner than the other. Lockbeard no lockdowns, which is meant to is going to be something further off. I need to make sure there's stuff I gotta pay for, and anyway, to get set up for that, and a lot of preparation. So hopefully I can do that, and it'll be a regularly scheduled one-on-one interview type show. Hopefully that happens. So with that, I'm gonna go ahead and shut her down, and thank you all for coming, and everyone have a good night.